This is so tricky to do and keep it in the lines, because I don't think there's a single straight line on this map. And I really don't want to scratch into one that we haven't been to yet. Becky and I have been talking a lot about how we're going to do the trips up to Scotland, Northern Ireland, just anywhere really further north of central England really, because they're going to be quite big trips to do. There's a couple of big factors that go into planning these trips though, because obviously firstly you need the time to do it. That's not too much of an issue anymore though, because I recently left my job, so I'm not going to be restricted to only having 20 days off a year. And then with that, Becky can work remotely, so if we're in the van and she doesn't have to physically go into work, because she does have to go in sometimes, then we can pretty much be anywhere and it doesn't really matter. The other thing to consider as well is just the general cost of doing it, because it's not as simple as just packing up the van, getting some food from the shop and off you go. The camper van we have at the moment isn't really designed to be anywhere other than on a campsite with an electrical hookup and access to all the showers and toilets and everything. If you know anything about staying on campsites, you'll know that they're not the cheapest places to stay. It could be made cheaper if we got solar panels and didn't require the electrical hookup, but then you're still looking at £20-ish per night, which soon starts to add up. You're looking at £140 a week, minimum really, to be staying on campsites. And then you've got your fuel on top of that, you've got your food on top of that. So quite quickly it starts to get quite expensive. So what we've really been talking about recently is how feasible it's going to be to do these long trips in the van setup that we currently have. And the answer to that really is we need to get a bigger van. We need to have our own toilet, we need to have our own shower, we need to be off grid for at least 2, 3, 4 days at a time, so that we can park overnight in places and not have to be on a campsite paying £20+ a night just to be there. So we're not really too sure about the logistics of it all, but we are planning on building out our own van. Unless we find the perfect van that is already done, then maybe we'll consider that. But I would really like to build the van myself, and I think cost wise it's probably going to be cheaper to buy a van and do it ourselves. So that's what we're planning on doing. We're just kind of keeping an eye out for a decent van at the moment for a decent price, and then hopefully we can get cracking with that. Maybe over the winter, ready for next spring, summer perhaps. I really don't know, but that's something we're planning to do at the moment anyway. And there we have it guys, the updated UK travel map. You can see we've got that really annoying missing county right there of Berkshire, which would have been quite nice to have scratched off, but never mind, we'll get it again. We're thinking of maybe going up this way next, but we're not really too sure, nothing really planned. You got a stick? Have you got a stick? You got a tasty stick. So I've done the toilet, I've done the grey water, I'm just filling up the drinking water. I don't think the main water is completely empty. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow or a bit later. Mind you, saying that, I'll probably have a shower and it'll run out, and that has happened before and it's really annoying. So maybe I should probably do it, but I think I can take the dog for a walk anyway. Water. Where have you gone? So another thing that we need to tell you is that we're actually moving the house. This has kind of been a thing in progress for the last, well, couple of months really. We've been looking at moving the house, mainly because the campsite we're on at the moment is quite expensive for what it is. There's cheaper campsites in the area, but we're not actually moving to a campsite. Basically, Becky's parents, they run a shop and they have a flat above the shop and quite a big garden out the back. So what we're gonna do is basically, we're going there this weekend actually, we're gonna put effectively a camping pitch in the garden, and then we're gonna move the house there so then we don't have to pay any pitch fees at all. I mean, obviously we'll pay towards like bills and stuff and probably help them in the shop and keep tabs of the garden and loads of other stuff. But the financial saving that we're going to make by moving there as opposed to another campsite means that we can reinvest that back into the van build, and then I might not also have to pick up a part-time job and I can just spend perhaps the winter or however long it takes converting the van. But more on that in another video anyway. We're going there this weekend to do some prep work, so we'll talk a bit more about it when we're there. It's also peak blackberry picking season at the moment as well. Last couple of weeks in August, every year, last 2 weeks in August, blackberry season. So I think we're going to have to go and pick some blackberries and make a blackberry pie or a blackberry strudel or something. This whole bush to the left of me is just covered in blackberries, apart from the occasional stinging nettle. But yeah, blackberry picking season is upon us. Let's go. Let's go. All the way. Race. Race. So it's that time of the week when we need to start thinking about what we're going to have for dinner next week. It only seems like 5 minutes ago I was doing the shopping and trying to like film myself around the supermarket and like making sure no one was like watching me because it was like really awkward. I really fancy quesadillas. Is that how you say it?
Quesadillas.
Quesadillas. Quesadillas. If you've got any suggestions of what we should eat next week, then let us know. It'd be quite interesting to see what you suggest, to be honest. Becky can't eat gluten though, and we only really tend to eat vegetarian food at home because Becky's a vegetarian. So any vegetarian gluten-free meal suggestions, just let us know, and if they're any good, then maybe we'll add them to the list. I was thinking maybe tomorrow as well, I might sort out the composting toilet. Maybe. I need to get some sawdust for that though, so I might have to go to the pet shop. There's also only like 4 or 5 days left of the August challenge, which is kind of pretty scary / exciting because I'm quite looking forward to having a day off without having to film. We've just had dinner though, we're going to watch some telly, start writing up a shopping list. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. We'll catch you guys tomorrow for maybe some toilet action. So make sure you come back for that. But until then, safe drive, stay alive, have an absolutely lovely day, and don't spill your custard. Bye bye.